Hello everyone, Dan14 Prime here. Want to do a YouTube video share out with the new addition to the Prime Pyre here. This is the XM Studios Transformers Rodimus Prime. The line stays consistent with this piece. We get the contemporary design, G1 inspired, but very cool, much more detailed mechanical stuff. And again, just the style a little bit more modernized and contemporary. They're using the Unicron theme base, slightly tweaked a little bit from what we saw from Nemesis Prime. So very cool theme, works for Rodimus. A little bit disappointed if you're collecting the line because, again, it looks like a bit the Nemesis Prime base. So something more original would have been cool as someone who has basically the whole line of this. But definitely works for Rodimus all the same. Got all the Rodimus call marks you'd expect, right? You get the flame on the chest there. Could be a little bigger and bolder for my personal taste, but it's there. He's got the high shoulders with the black accents. You can see right there he's got the Rodimus rifle. In this switch out, he's got a matrix there. And he's got some of the right call marks. Down towards the bottom of the legs, you can see some like black feet, some black accents on the legs. I could have done with a bit more black on the legs, but it's definitely something you'd expect when you look at Rodimus Prime. So very recognizable, and of course, let's not forget the big giant yellow wing, which you can more easily see from some different angles than what I have right here. But definitely all of the Rodimus Prime stuff, and he's of size to be Rodimus. So despite this piece having some hot rod elements to it that I'll show you, they're going for Rodimus. He's a big piece. 1/10 scale transformer, kind of comes off like 1/3 scale statue. So he's the size of like Optimus and other large Megatron kind of leader figures in the line. Rodimus himself probably good, 2 feet tall by the time you put him on that base. Even taller, and with this gun in the air, this one goes actually 3 feet, 36 inches to the tip of that gun. Which is cool, but I hate kind of like random high spots in statues. Creates some display challenges, but large, very cool, beautiful piece. And let's not forget, as all of the pieces in this line, they come with non-scaled alt mode. Here we get, again, the hot rod alt mode, which looks awesome. I would say it's my favorite alt mode of the line. This thing looks super cool. It's a good size too for being a car, space car. But again, not Rodimus Prime in terms of the space Winnebago that he should be. Let me just jump in and freehand it. Again, we get kind of these wonky poses. I've said it in every review probably with this line. So here he's kind of like, looks like a nice front display, but his head is cocked to the side, kind of like Grimlock was. So you kind of have something like this. I wish they would have given us more head placement options, so we don't always have to have wonky angles going on with random action poses, but it looks very cool. Just all this detail is really, really awesome. Check me out on Instagram, same handle, Dan14 Prime. I'm already, as of like yesterday. It's probably going to be a few days by the time this video gets up. I've unboxed it. I've really shared some preliminary thoughts. I've showed a lot of detailed pics. I've showed all the light ups, done all of that on Instagram there. It's just easier, faster, and everything. Don't always get around to doing a YouTube share out anymore these days, but with this piece, I figured I would because I think there's just going to be a bit less than, say, like Soundwave, who I didn't do a video on, but there's more videos out there. Or some other pieces that have come into the Prime Pyre lately, like Batman Hush Batcave. Didn't do a video on that because there's just so many out there. But definitely you can find all my stuff out there on Instagram whenever something new arrives, or just kind of everyday collection statue sharing. Try to put something out there every once in a while, so check that out. Again, the car here is so cool. Like, I love it. Even though it's hot rod, I would prefer Rodimus, but what they've done here with the car, this thing is freaking awesome. So cool. They did a fantastic job. Again, a nice size too. Probably even big, you might say, for how it might fit in versus a Optimus, the cabs. But non-scaled, so it works. Looks fantastic. And I guess I could get why they wouldn't do the Winnebago, because that thing would be freaking huge. I don't know if you could do it. This thing is very, very bad. Let's give them an overview here around the sides and back. Awesome details. This chrome into the burn pipe look. Freaking awesome. Very well done. All the usual stuff you'd expect here with the XM's delivered really for the line, which is a great sculpted detail and fantastic paint. And again, I've just got some of my design complaints, like I said, just with the poses and stuff like that. Those have been consistent complaints across the line as well. They leave a little bit to be desired, some of the design and art direction, but the sculpt, the paint, all of that stuff, the quality, all XM top-notch stuff. I like how they did this base, the Rock the Unicron, similar to Nemesis Prime, like I said, but different because actually this base took a bit more assembly, which makes it actually a little bit easier, I think, to pack up, store, stuff like that, display. It's even a tidier footprint than Nemesis, which had a nice footprint. So this is probably one of the most displayable pieces, aside from the random long gun. But from a footprint perspective, one of the more displayable pieces in the line. So getting in a bit close here. You can see the wheels, just lots of great gears and detail. Paint accents, fantastic. Fantastic. Kind of a bit of Captain Morgan pose going on, but whatever. Here's the big wing in the back. Looks very, very nice. One thing about this piece is I kind of like, the paint is consistent. It's all across the line, kind of a bit muted, matte kind of finish. I think Rodimus looks good with a bit of splash though too, a bit of metallic, a bit of gloss. We don't get that on this piece. But it still works. But I could see with that like wing just being a bit more even yellow and bolder would have been cool too. Come around this side here, a bit tight, because I've got my Imaginary Art Rodimus, as you've probably seen, right next to this guy. So I'll do a little side by side. I'll probably just break that off into a separate video. Both are very good statues. Both do some things really well. Both some things I wish they would have improved, but he's over there. I've got a video out on him on the channel as well. So here with the lights, again, I think every piece in the line has got light up eyes, I believe. And they look good lit or unlit. They were painted blue before you saw them. Here they are with the light up. Again, just 3 LR44s, top of the head. And then he's got a light up here with this matrix. Made a mistake on my Instagram. I thought it comes with the batteries in the matrix, and there's just like this little tab, like battery pull tab, like you'd find on a lot of things. Pulled out, it starts working. Flashing sort of display stuff. It looks pretty cool. So those are the light up features on the piece. But anyway, not that important. Let me show you the switch outs here. He gets swap out left arm, which is super subtle, and a swap out for his left hand. XM's got a video out there if you want to see assembly instructions. This left arm here is really just like barely less bent than the arm I just took off. And then you just take the rifle hand out of his right hand. And just while we're at it, since that thing was sticking up in the air, here's what it looks like. They do a nice job. Definitely looks like toy gun inspired or cartoon inspired, but I refer back to the toy. It's got the flares here. It's got the right shape through here. It's got some little accents up here. Maybe they should be farther up. So they're a little bit unique in their design, kind of up through here a little bit and in the back here a little bit, but definitely the core of it. Very recognizable Rodimus rifle. And then his swap outs are basically the 2 hot rod pistols, right? That would sort of, I guess, go to kind of plug together to be the rifle back in the toy days. I can't recall, but they would stack together. One for each hand. So this is where the hot rod thing really comes into play, where you get the hot rod car. The swap outs really make him more go into kind of like hot rod sort of look with the 2 pistols. So you've got this look. Space is an issue. You can see obviously that becomes much shorter in height overall. And again, here I think it's like an excellent hot rod piece. I think it does. That's my main complaint with the piece. If you set its size aside, because again, he is sized to be leader kind of size, big as Optimus and Megatron. If I were to put him next to them, so he's big. They haven't scaled him down and made him smaller, like of course Bumblebee or even Soundwave a bit smaller. Grimlock a bit bigger. So he's the right size to be Rodimus Prime. But I think it really does a hot rod look maybe better. Maybe better than he does the Rodimus Prime look for whatever reason. I don't know. It's just the vibe I get. And of course, definitely the alt mode, to the side just complements with the hot rod look. But again, overall, super nice piece. Maybe they could have committed to kind of like a Rodimus Prime design and look a little bit more and not try to do some of this back and forth with wanting to give us some hot rods, some Rodimus, just kind of pick a lane. And of course, if you pick a lane, doing one of either of the two would have been a better route, but they try to give us a little bit of both, and it's okay. It still works out good. It's still an awesome piece. Happy to have it in the collection. Still one of the better pieces, I think, by a lot of dimensions. I think some of the earlier pieces are my biggest complaints. Like the Optimus piece, despite Optimus being the big character, I don't think it's by far, definitely not the best piece in the line. Has all kinds of design issues and swap out issues that just look goofy when you try to put it all together. This guy's pretty solid, nice footprint, very displayable. Pose is okay. Nothing iconic, nothing that makes you scream 1986 movie or Rodimus Prime, but it works. It fits with the line. Alt mode is super cool. And again, if you really appreciate some of that transformation, of Hot Rod into Rodimus, this gives you that flavor too, which is very cool. So it's an awesome statue. Don't get me wrong, but just feel like a little bit there's sort of like a next level that they left on the table. So very, very, very good piece. Definitely towards the upper tier of the line, but not probably one of the better 2 or 3, let's say, which I would call like probably the Soundwave piece, the Grimlock piece, probably the Nemesis Prime piece. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. Again, just a quick shout with some thoughts here. I'm going to do a separate short video with the Imaginarium art comparison, so look for that very soon. Thanks for stopping by. Again, check me out on Instagram, same handle, Dan14Prime. I'll see you next time.